What's up guys, Jesse here. So for the past couple of years, I've been trying to turn my desk setup into the perfect sanctuary for both work and play, because I truly believe that a well-organized and designed space leads to better productivity and enjoyment. And especially when more and more of us are starting to transition into work from home and spending more time than ever at our desks, it just makes a lot of sense to invest in a great setup. So I'm going to go through everything on here, share some of the reasons that I got them, and hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to have some ideas that you can implement into your own setup. And everything that I mentioned should be linked down below into the description, but just in case I forget anything, just let me know in the comment section below and I'll be sure to add it. But before we get into that, let's hear a word from our sponsors. So if you're watching this channel, chances are you spent a lot of money on tech. And with so much invested into our gear, it seems almost silly not to get that gear protected. And that's where channel sponsor AKKO Insurance comes in. For only $15 a month, you can have up to 25 devices including your phone protected. The setup process is super easy, and all you have to do to register a device is take a couple of pictures, enter in some information, and now you're protected from accidental damage like drops and spills, device failure, and even theft. You get an unlimited number of claims, and if $15 a month is still too much, you can get their phone only plan for as little as $6. And because you guys are viewers of the channel, you can get your first month of coverage free by using the link down below in the description. So let's start this off by talking about the desk itself. I've got the fully Jarvis L-shaped standing desk. And last time I did a desk setup video, you guys all roasted me for having such a cheap table when my chair was so expensive. Well, I heard you guys and I've upgraded. So a couple of things that I love about this desk. It's a sit-stand convertible. Ever since I got my first one, I just can't go back to a regular table anymore. Being able to switch between sitting and standing is great for back pain, and I think it allows me to work for longer than I otherwise would be able to. Also, huge bonus as a YouTuber, when I film small products on the tabletop, I don't have to move my tripod around to get different angles. I can just change the height of the desk, which is just a huge time saver. It also has this alloy color option for the legs, which I just think looks sick. It costs a little extra, but I totally think it was worth it. And my absolute favorite thing about this is that it has the option to put casters on the bottom, so you can roll this thing around. And it just comes in really handy for any time I need to get behind the table to manage the cables. But yeah, it's just a super solid table and I can't recommend it enough. So next up, let's talk about the chair. This is the Herman Miller X Logitech Embody gaming chair. It's pretty pricey, but it's crazy ergonomic and very comfortable. But not in the sense that you sit down in it and you go, oh my god, like this is just so soft and comfortable. It's more just like you sit in it for 8 hours, do your work and stuff, and then you get up and you go, wow, my back doesn't hurt. And plus, Herman Miller chairs are just known to last forever because they're made so well. And I think if you care about your body, this is a great investment to make. That's enough about the chair though. Let's move up on top of the desk. And you may notice that it's looking extra stylish. And that is in large part thanks to Grovemade, who sent me a bunch of stuff from their collection. All of their stuff is super well made with really high quality materials. Like everything is either wood, metal, leather, cork, or wool. Don't quote me on that, but you get the point. So first off, we've got this huge desk mat that is made entirely of merino wool felt, which feels great, really soft, and I just love having a desk mat because it kind of creates visual structure within a space, and it makes it feel like everything on here actually has a place to go. And if you rock your phone caseless like I do, it just provides a nice soft area for you to throw your phone on. The mouse pad has a genuine leather surface that gives better tracking than the bare wool would, cork on the bottom to prevent slippage, and a wood channel where you can store a pen, which just comes in handy for when you need to do non-digital stuff. This wrist pad is again just made out of super high quality materials, and I just love that they added this strip of leather on top here because it just feels really nice to rest on when you're typing. We've also got this desk shelf, which is awesome for a couple of reasons. Number one, it provides extra storage, and paired with this drawer that they also sell, it gives you a place to put all the little knickknacks that you might have that you don't know where else to put. I just have a couple of charging cables, nail clipper, chapstick, multi-tool, and a knife for unboxings, and doing other knife things. And the second reason is just that it hides clutter and cables. I've got so much stuff plugged in back there, and without the desk shelf, you would just be able to see all of it. Next, we've got this laptop stand, which just looks really nice, but also raises the laptop up closer to eye level, which is better for ergonomics. And I also really like how this divot matches up perfectly with the one on my 16-inch MacBook Pro. It doesn't actually matter, but it's a nice attention to detail, and I appreciate things like that. And last but not least, one of my favorite things in the Grovemade collection, the headphone stand. I just think it looks super cool, and it's a great way to show off your headphones and have them ready for any time you need to use them. So that's all the Grovemade stuff that I have here, and full disclosure, they did send that stuff to me free of charge, but they did not pay me and they don't get to review this before it comes out. I just genuinely really like their products, and I'm really impressed by the level of craftsmanship as well as the quality of materials that goes into all of their stuff. They're a little on the pricey side, but I definitely think they're worth it. So if you're interested in any of their products, I'll leave an affiliate link down below. I will get a small commission, but it does not cost you anything extra and it helps out the channel tremendously. Anyways, now let's talk about the actual tech of the setup, starting with the computers powering everything. On the left here, I've got an HP Omen pre-built from about 5 years ago. It's getting a little bit dated, but it still runs everything fine as long as you're not trying to play AAA titles at ultra settings. It's got a GTX 1070, i7 7700, and 16 gigs of RAM. Nothing special, but it gets the job done. And if you were wondering, it's mounted under there via a CPU holder from Vivo. And it's mounted under there because, well, honestly, it's kind of ugly. But also, because I'm using a sit-stand convertible desk, I couldn't just leave it on the ground. I would have to leave enough slack in all the cables to account for the movement of the desk, and that would just be a cable management nightmare. On the other side, powering the other half of the setup, is my 16-inch MacBook Pro from 2019. This is my main workhorse computer that I use for all of my video and photo editing. It's got an i9, 16 gigs of RAM, and a terabyte of storage. Runs like a champ, no complaints performance-wise for what I do, but the fans on these things are just insanely loud. Overall though, I really like it, and it's a solid laptop all around. Good keyboard, trackpad, build, and all that. I've got it plugged into this Thunderbolt dock from Anker that I've got all of my other cables plugged into. That way, if I need to remove the MacBook to take it to work with me, I just need to unplug one cable and then vice versa when I get back. Also, last time a lot of you guys were wondering where I got the skin from, and it's by a company called Fish Skins. They make some skins with some really dope designs, so I'll link them below. Anyways, both of these computers are plugged into this enormous 49-inch ultrawide made by LG. The model number is something super hard to remember, so I'll just link it below, but it's 5120 by 1440 and it has an aspect ratio of 32:9. So it's technically 5K, and that's how they advertise it, but it's more like 1440p. And because of the aspect ratio, it's like having two 27-inch 1440p monitors next to each other. And that's pretty much how I have it set up, with the PC displaying on the left side and the Mac on the right. And if you guys are curious on how exactly I got that set up, I already have a video on it and I'll link it down below. It's a lot easier than you think, but this setup is perfect for me because there's a lot of stuff I do on PC and a lot of stuff that I do on Mac. And with this setup, I don't have to choose. I can just have both of them displaying simultaneously. And through a program called Synergy, I can have my peripherals automatically switch between devices when I move my cursor over. The other great thing about this monitor is that since it is in fact one monitor and not two separate ones, if I want to enjoy some ultra-wide gaming, I can do that as a seamless experience. And it is just crazy immersive. So if you haven't tried it already, I highly recommend that you go do that. Just like I highly recommend that you subscribe to this channel. I checked the stats and it turns out only 2.3% of you guys watching are subscribed. So if you guys are enjoying the content, I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a thing and it helps out the channel a ton. Okay, so holding up the monitor, I've got the Ergotron HX monitor arm, which I think really adds to the setup because the way I have it extended out like I do almost makes it look like the monitor is floating. It's a bit expensive, but with the monitor being so big and heavy, I think almost 30 pounds, I really needed something that could support the weight. And the Ergotron is just rock solid. On top of the monitor, I have this LED light bar from BenQ, and I think it's a really great addition to any desk setup because it can give you a really decent amount of light onto the surface of the desk and doesn't take up any space on the desk itself. You may be worried about glare though because it's so close to the screen, but honestly it's a non-issue. The light beam is asymmetrical, so the light doesn't come back onto the screen itself, it only goes forward. Highly recommend it to anybody trying to up their lighting game on the desk. Speaking of lighting, I've also got some LED light strips from Grovemade on the back of the monitor, as well as along the back side of the desk for some bias lighting. And if you guys don't already know what bias lighting is, it's basically just light that you put behind your monitor to light up the wall. And that reduces the contrast between your bright monitor and the dark wall, which in turn reduces eye strain. Apart from that though, I just think it looks really nice and adds to the whole vibe of the setup. And it's a really cheap way to up your setup game. I've also got this neon sign that just says dumpling in Chinese. That's just there because I thought it was cool. And honestly, money well spent. Next, let's talk about the speakers. These are the Yamaha HS5 studio monitors. They sound great, but because they're studio monitors, they have an extremely flat sound signature. And that may be something to get used to if you usually listen to more consumer-oriented speakers that have a more fun sound. But that flat sound signature is great for people like me who make videos because it allows me to accurately monitor my audio, especially on these speaker stands that I got from Kanto. They get them up closer to ear level, which is better for audio, and they're also hollow, so you can run cables through them, which just helps with keeping everything clean. I've got these hooked up into both computers via a Y-splitter, so I can hear audio from both computers at the same time. A lot of the time, I like to play a chill game on one side and watch a video on the other, and this way I can still hear the sound effects from the game while watching the video. When I really need to block out the world and listen to stuff though, I've got my current headphones of choice, the AirPods Max. They aren't perfect and they also aren't cheap, but they're my favorite pair of wireless noise canceling headphones out right now because of a combination of the sound, build quality, design, comfort, and honestly, it's just been one of my favorite tech items of this past year. They don't sound quite as good as the HS5s, but if you're really trying to focus and get stuff done, it kind of helps to have a pair of headphones to kind of block out all of the little sounds around you so you can really focus on what you're doing. For the keyboard, right now I'm using the AKKO F96 with the cant keycaps. It's a mechanical keyboard with cherry reds, super dense metal case, works with both Mac and PC, wired or wireless, and it's just really well made. They're a smaller company, but if you've only ever tried mechanical keyboards from gaming companies like Razer or Corsair, I think this is a good middle ground to get a better typing experience, but not go so far as to build your own. And I'll just put in a little sound test for you guys just in case you're wondering how it sounds. Okay, so for the mouse, I'm using the Logitech MX Master 3. And if you're watching this video, you probably already know about this thing because just about everybody who's not a hardcore gamer uses it. And it's for a good reason. The way that they shaped it, it just fits so well into the hands, and when you're using it, it just feels like a really nice handshake. Battery life lasts many weeks, so you almost never have to worry about charging it. Connection is super stable, and you can also save multiple devices on it and then switch between them with just a button. It's just a really great mouse, and I have pretty much zero complaints about it. If you're a serious gamer, it might not be the best option though, just because the DPI is so low, but for everyone else, highly recommend. Alright, so just a few more little things here and there. Under the desk shelf, I have the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 audio interface. I've got it plugged into my MacBook, and I pretty much only use it to connect the mic when I'm recording videos because it has those XLR inputs. And the mic is the Sennheiser MKH416. This thing is pretty much industry standard, and I think it sounds great. All of the audio you're hearing from this video is recorded with it, so you can decide for yourself. Also under the desk shelf though, I have this wireless charger from a company called Nomad. It's the Base Station Pro, and I love this thing because it's a free position wireless charger. Meaning as long as you have your device anywhere on this huge surface, it'll charge. So you don't have to worry about whether or not the coils are lined up exactly right. You just throw your stuff on there and it charges. It does up to 3 devices at a time, which is nice, but only at 7.5 watts, which is not the fastest, but if I'm not in a hurry, I really don't mind. And last but not least, let's talk about cable management. And this is something that I've never been good at, but I think I found a pretty good solution. A lot of people recently have been recommending that cable management tray from Ergonophis, but I found this one on Amazon for about 1/5 the price, and it does just about the same thing, so I just decided to get this instead. And basically, I just tried to plug everything on my desk into the same power strip, so then I would only need one cable from the table to the wall, but I actually can't plug both of my speakers into the same power strip or else I start getting a lot of interference, so I ended up having to have two cables go down. Not ideal, but it is what it is, and to get all of the little leftover cables, I've got these adhesive cable ties that just stick onto the underside of the desk and then grab all the cables so they can't dangle. It's not perfect, but standing desk cable management is always really difficult, and I'm pretty proud of what I've got going on over here. Anyways, I think that was pretty much everything. Hope you guys enjoyed it and found something useful that you could use in your own setup. I feel like my whole goal with this setup was just to make a place that I can come home to and go, and just relax and get stuff done. And I think I've done it. Also, one last announcement, and hopefully if you've made it this far in the video, this might be something you're interested in. But I've launched the official Instagram account for this YouTube channel. It's at jchen_tech, and I've got like 2 posts on there so far, but basically I'll just be posting some tech related content and hopefully some behind the scenes. So if that sounds interesting, go ahead, give it a follow. If not, no pressure. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smash that like button, and if you enjoy content like this, think about subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss anything. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!